The Trump administration is taking aim at a major Canadian export. The U.S. Commerce Department is hiking anti-dumping duties on Canadian softwood lumber to 20.56%.
Recovered late morning. Lumber futures are, of course, higher given the news on the 25% tariff on Canada. There is already a 14.5% duty on Canadian lumber.
Ottawa says it has a plan to fight back against new U.S. duties on Canadian lumber.
This is another unjustified tariff. You can expect us to fight against it, and you can expect us to take specific steps to protect those workers.
American officials have bragged that their country doesn't require Canadian labor, asserting that its own. It can get all the wood it needs from forests. That audacious assertion is about to be put to the test in a way nobody anticipated. A minor timber trade issue has turned into a full-fledged conflict during the past year. It began with an abrupt increase in tariffs that rocked the building sector and swiftly sparked an unprecedented Canadian response. Slapping tasks are on one side and threatening to cut off a vital building material supply. Analysts are warning that by 2027, the average cost of developing a home might increase by $14,000. And that's only the start. Please click the like button before we start. We can outsmart the YouTube algorithm thanks to it. Imagine waking up to discover that about 1/3 of the lumber used in American homes may vanish from U.S. markets overnight. Now, that situation is quite genuine. Washington made the unexpected decision to impose a 35% tariff wall on all Canadian timber shipments entering the nation at sunrise on July 12th. Alarms began to sound over the border within hours. The biggest lumber in Canada, producing provinces, made hints that they could retaliate by restricting shipments of wood. In order to reduce trade friction, the Premier of British Columbia actually informed Bloomberg News that export quotas, a strict cap on the lumber headed south, are on the table. All of a sudden, softwood, America's lifeline, was under danger. According to one industry assessment, this levy alone could raise the cost of a new single-family home by roughly $10,000 in the coming years if Canadians retaliate. Builders have already stated that they have not witnessed such a severe shortage of timber since the Second World War. However, Canada's harsh quota threat is just the first move of a much bigger game of chess. You don't simply put off building a house when you cut off the timber. You begin rewriting the supply chain in North America as a whole. What occurs if every 2x4 plank is used as a negotiating tool between countries? Stay still because the economy on both sides of the border is about to change as a result of this intensifying standoff. And shortly, we'll disclose a startling tactic one side is keeping that has the potential to totally turn the trade war script. Make sure you click the subscription button before we proceed. It greatly aids in the channel's expansion. In actuality, the clock on this confrontation began to tick months ago. The U.S. Commerce Department discreetly increased taxes on Canadian softwood timber to 14.54% on August 19, 2024, almost double the previous amount. Although Canada denounced the action as severe, it was really a preview of what was to happen. About 30% of the lumber used in American homes comes from a vital supply chain, and that first duty hike was a lightning strike through its center. The amount of Canadian timber at jeopardy, according to trade analysts, could have been used to frame every single home that the U.S. started constructing last year. Put another way, it would be as though the lumber for every home building project from the previous year had vanished if that wood supply were to abruptly disappear. The sting hit builders almost instantly. The lack of wood caused by the tariff may increase the cost of building a typical single-family home by an additional $7,500 to $10,000, according to the National Association of Home Builders, or NAB. Additionally, this blow comes at the worst possible moment, as mortgage interest rates are currently at 7%. Making home ownership even more unaffordable for a large number of families.